John from J Innovation Garage in the peach capital of the state, baby. It is 5 o'clock on Wednesday. 5 o'clock. We'll give it a little bit, and then gonna get up after it. Oh, did more wiring today. I ain't gonna bore you guys with it. So we're gonna get after this live, we'll have to run to the hardware right quick and get some more shrink tube. But I'm gonna give it just a minute, and we'll go right after it. Give y'all a little bit of announcements. All right, boys and girls, we're gonna get right up after it. So what I decided, few things. One, on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, we're gonna do one chapter a week out of the book. I can't do a chapter every day because it might interfere with what else I got going on. But I'm gonna do a chapter a day. So if we do a chapter a day, maybe we'll get the subscribe numbers up. And like I say, there's 32 chapters, and then there's so many sections. There's like 6 sections in each chapter. So that's like 180 something. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. First chapter in this book right here, in the textbook that I use at the college. You don't even get a textbook anymore. It's all digital, so it is what it is. What is that book about? This book is about automotive collision and repair and refinishing. All right, so I have a lot of videos on Facebook. So if you haven't followed the Facebook page, go to the Facebook page. There is a lot of tech videos on here for the last few years. Spraying Raptor, bed liner, tinting Raptor, tinting, just a lot. So we're gonna start a new series because you guys were saying, hey, let's do some book work, because a lot of people can't and don't have the opportunity to go to college or go to a class to take this. I offer classes twice a year in the fall and the spring here to do custom painting in the fall, custom painting and airbrushing in the spring and restoration in the fall. We took a break this year because of everything that was going on with the election and everything going crazy. So me and my buddy Eddie, we've been talking about it. So we're probably going to see how everything goes, and we're going to pick it up in the spring of 2025 and do a custom airbrush class again. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'm going to make a separate live post after this one on something else that's going to happen in the next few weeks here at the shop. But let's get right to it. So chapter 1 is the introduction to collision repair. All right, so After studying this chapter, you will be able to summarize the typical steps in collision repair process, compare the various types of body shop ownership, describe the types of jobs available in the collision repair industry, explain the educational opportunities available to those who are interested in a career in collision repair. So, what's up, Troy? What's up, CMC? What's up, your girl, Mo, OZI? So, this is just based on collision repair. This is not refinishing. This is not restoration. This is not custom painting. This is none of that. This is basically if you hit a deer or if you're in an accident and you turn it in on your insurance company writes an adjustment or an estimate, you take it to a body shop, you drop it off at the body shop fixes your vehicle, picks it up, and you're go. This is what most of the techs have to go through to get a degree. Now, you can get a diploma, you can get a certificate, but you also can get an associate's degree, and you can also get a bachelor's. So, I have a bachelor's in this, which doesn't mean, this means I've done the schooling, okay? So, I've done the schooling, and I got 25 years plus of experience. So, I also have the education and the experience, but education is always changing and the chemicals are always changing. The products are changing, so you have to learn the products. There's a lot of moving parts. So what I tell people is you can be on the very tip of technology, and as things change, you grow with stuff and you educate yourself and follow more stuff, or you stick in the old times where he's like, man, I remember back in the day, we used to spray lacquer paint on dirt floors. Tooey. Yeah, a lot of people did that, but not saying that that's bad, and not saying it's good. There's a better way. So that's what this book's about. All right, so introduction. So the collision repair industry is, the collision repair industry is expected to grow a foreseeable future. There's approximately 50,000 body shops in the United States. These shops employ about 220,000 workers. For many years, the collision repair industry has suffered from lack of adequate training entry-level workers. Keyword, entry-level. Entry-level. So it says entry level. Each year, there's approximately 50,000 job openings for qualified collision repair professionals. What is a professional? A professional is somebody that gets paid to do something. Okay? How many hours does it take for somebody to, quote unquote, master a trade? Anybody know? 10,000 hours, okay? 10,000 hours. Now, if you're learning 10,000 hours of wrong, then your 10,000 hours are wrong. So you got to make sure you're getting your information from a good source. So it says this chapter will introduce the world of collision repair and refinishing. It begins with an overview of collision repair process. It then details the various job opportunities available for collision repair industry. The chapter concludes with a look of an educational resource that will help you prepare for a career in collision repair and refinishing. So when folks asked, I get a lot of messages, I get text messages, I get Facebook messages, I get emails, I get phone calls asking me questions about stuff, and I try to answer as many as possible as I can. And one guy says, man, I don't know why in the world you don't charge people more for giving them your information. You had to work hard to get that. You had to pay money to get that. You should be getting paid. I agree. I should be getting paid. But not always it's about the money, right? It's not always about the money. We get paid in other ways, So yes, I could do a membership only on YouTube, and you'd have to pay to take this, and some people would pay it and some people wouldn't. What if somebody wasn't financially stable to pay to take the class? That's why I'm doing these lives, okay? All right. The repair process. To understand the collision repair industry and the opportunities it offers to train and motivate workers. Motivate. Everybody needs motivation, even me. So you guys are motivating me to do this, so I'm trying to do this. So also it says, you should be able to have the basic understanding of collision repair process. This will allow you to become familiar with the steps involved in repairing a damaged vehicle. Not everybody absorbs stuff at the same level, okay? I can take 5 people and explain something. Hey, bro, I paint cars for a living when I have a job. Okay. So you can show 5 people how to do something, and a percentage of them will get it just like that. Some of them takes a little bit longer to get it, and then there's some that takes a little bit longer to get it till it clicks. So you have to understand different people absorb information different, okay? So also, it says vehicle damage can range from minor, such as a scratch in the paint, to major damage, such as a bent frame. The vehicle that has a damage so badly that the repair cost exceeds the value of the vehicle is considered a total loss. All right. What is a total loss? The last time I checked, they said if it's more than 60% of what the value of the vehicle is, they will total it. So that means if you had a vehicle that was worth $10,000 and it cost $6,100, that's 60% of it, they would total it. It's out, okay? So that's that. And then older vehicles are generally worth less than newer vehicles. They will be declared a total loss and less damage than it is its new counterpart. Meaning if you had a 2000 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 two-wheel drive short wheelbase and it was the damage, they would say, well, it's going to cost more to fix that than it is to replace it. We can replace you with a newer version for a fraction of what it is. But if anybody's noticed, used car sales, trucks, cars and stuff have went through the roof because nobody's buying new vehicles because they're $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 on the lot. And I don't know who in the world are buying those, but folks are buying them. All right. It says vehicles that are a total loss are usually not repaired by the body shop. However, there is a segment of the collision repair industry that buys, repairs, and sells total loss vehicles. These technicians who perform this type of work are called rebuilders, okay? So you see people like Copart and IAA where you go online and you can buy vehicles that's been totaled, and they take 2 vehicles and make 1 vehicle, and then they get it retitled as salvage. It gets inspected and they send it on the way, and then they sell it. That's what they're talking about, rebuild. The collision repair process often starts after the vehicle is involved in a collision. If the damage of the vehicle is not drivable, it must be towed from the scene to the accident. Damage that can render the vehicle non-drivable include leaking radiator, broken steering linkage, or sheet metal that's touching the tire. Additional vehicles should be towed from the scene if it has suffered damage that would make it unsafe to drive, such as shattered windshield. Non-drivable vehicles is taken by a wrecker or a tow truck or a rollback to a storage lot or a body shop lot. The vehicle owner can request the vehicle be towed to a specific place of business, and then it says figure 2 shows a record, blah, blah, blah. All right. So with that, then once it's towed and it's at a salvage yard or it's at a tow yard, I'll use one of my buddies there, for example. He has a tow yard. He picks something up. Once he picks it up, it's there. They notify the insurance company, and everything the ball starts rolling, okay? For every day that it sits in there, he can charge a set rate for storage fee for every day that sits there until they figure out what's going on. In the state of North Carolina, last time I checked, last time I was told, you can charge up to $125 a day if it's in a lock, or excuse me, you can charge up to $125 a day if it's inside. If it's outside, you can charge no more than $100 a day max, but normally it's $50 a day. I know a buddy of mine, he charges $50 a day. He charges $50 a day for storage. So that goes against the bill as well. So you think about it, if the vehicle, let's say the vehicle only had $3,500 worth of, let's keep it even. So let's say the vehicle was a $10,000 car and you had $5,000 in damage. Well, it didn't break the 60% mark. Therefore, they would opt to either fix it or give you the option to total it or go from that process. But if they're charging $50 a day for storage and your vehicle is in there for 20 days, that's $1,000 for storage plus the tow fee. So let's just say the tow fee was $300 and you had $1,000 in storage. That's $1,300. I'm just throwing numbers out here. So that's $1,300 and you got $5,000 repair. That brings your total up to $6,300. That breaks the limit of 60%. They total the vehicle. It's gone. So you have to keep that in mind too. In the state of North Carolina, you can take your vehicle anywhere you want to get fixed. Last time I was told you can. So if your insurance company says you have to take your vehicle to John Sycamore's body shop down the road and have it fixed there, and you're like, no, I want to take it over here to this one over here, you can take it over there. Okay, you can take it. Don't let them pressure you to take it somewhere else. Okay, all right. Insurance company pay the most repairs made by, insurance claims. Insurance companies pay for the most repairs made by body shops. Body shops deal with the insurance companies on a daily basis. There are several types of insurance available. A vehicle can buy liability insurance to pay for damages caused by their vehicle. For example, if Mr. Wilson has a liability insurance coverage and he hits Mrs. Smith's vehicle, the insurance company will pay for the damage to Mrs. Smith's vehicle and will also pay for injuries to the occupants of Mrs. Smith's vehicle. The damage to Mr. Wilson's vehicle will not be paid by liability insurance. If Mr. Wilson wants to fix his vehicle, he must pay repairs out of his pocket. So that means you got liability. That means basically what it says, if Mr. Wilson's insurance will fix Mrs. Smith's, but Mr. Wilson has to pay out of his pocket. Okay. Now, all right, if Mr. Wilson has liability insurance and comprehensive insurance, the insurance company would have to cover the cost of repairing his vehicles and as Mrs. Smith's vehicles as well. Also remember, you have a deductible. So if your repairs were let's say $5,000 again, your repairs are $5,000, and you got a $4,000 deductible, you lose $1,000 right off the top from the insurance company. The bill is still $5,000. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand. I've seen it in the past where they'll say, I don't understand why I have to pay that. Well, so if the estimate was $5,000 and your insurance company will pay the $5,000 to fix it because you have insurance, but you have a $1,000 deductible. The insurance company takes the $1,000 out of your $5,000 check and sends the $4,000 check to the body shop. You still owe the other $1,000. So you have to come up with the other $1,000 to pay. So a lot of people's like, well, I don't understand. I got insurance. Why do I got to pay the deductible? Because when you set up your insurance policy, you says, well, let's say your insurance was $200 a month with no deductible. You're like, man, I can't handle that. What's my insurance rate with a $500 deductible? Oh, it's this much money. I can't handle that. I can only handle $150 $50 or $125 a month. So the insurance company says, well, to meet your $125 a month for your premium that you want to pay, your deductible has to be $1,000. It could be $1,500. It could be $2,000. I seen one time. I seen one time at my buddy's shop. They had a $3,000 deductible. And at that point, why even have insurance? I mean, now you're supposed to have insurance. You know, it is against the law to drive on the road without insurance on your vehicle. It's also against the law to not have insurance on a vehicle that has a car note. Meaning, if the bank owns your vehicle and you're making payments, then you're required to have insurance. So if you don't have insurance and you're riding dirty and you wreck your vehicle and the vehicle's totaled or whatever, and it's your fault, and you don't have insurance to cover it, you're gonna get a ticket for no insurance. You're gonna get a ticket for driving with no insurance, no tags, no insurance, no liability, no comprehensive, and then the bank's gonna come and repossess the insurance company, or not the insurance company. The bank is going to seize the vehicle, and whatever the vehicle was valued at, the highest thing they can find, let's just say it was a $20,000 vehicle. You owe the bank 20 grand, but you said, I'm not paying my payment no more because the vehicle's totaled and I can't get the car fixed because I didn't have insurance. I was riding dirty. You're still liable for the 20 grand, for the 20 G's. You're still liable. The banks or the financial institution is going to put a judgment and a lien against you, meaning you can't go borrow any monies to buy anything else because they're going to pull up and say GMC or Ford or whoever put a judgment against you for 20 G's. All right? So, and you're going to be responsible for that. So, comprehensive insurance usually is deductible. Deductible is a part of the repair cost that the vehicle is responsible for paying. The owner pays the deductible, and the insurance company pays the remaining repair costs. For example, Mr. Wilson has a $500 deductible. Comprehensive insurance and the total repair cost is $4,500. Mr. Wilson pays $500 and the insurance company pays the $4 grand. All right? And pays the $4 grand. All right? A claim is made when an insured person suffers a loss or reports the loss of insurance company, this loss to the insurance company. The insurance company employee who handles the claims are called adjusters. Okay? After the claim is made, the damage of the vehicle must be evaluated. Quite often, the insurance company will tell the insurance individual who made the claim again to get two or three estimates. So you have to get at least 3 estimates and go from there, and then you turn it in. By getting multiple estimates, the customer essentially completes the comparison shop process. The insurance company pays the claim based on the lowest estimate. The insurance company needs to present a check for payment, repairs directly to the vehicle owner, and maybe issue a check that is payable to both the vehicle owner and the body shop. Both the owner and the body shop must sign the check before it's cashed. In some cases, the vehicle owner may decide to keep the money and not repair the vehicle. What's up, Moogle? Well, if you just heard me just a few minutes ago where I was talking about the insurance, the deductible and stuff, and I said 10,000, and then I was just reading right here from the book, the deductible and the claim, they basically kind of just confirm what I was saying, okay? Oh yeah, no worries. Hey, you wasn't here yesterday. Take a pause. You wasn't here yesterday. I looked up that 4 lines, and I'm picking up what you're laying down. All right, so quite often the insurance company will tell the insurer who has made a claim back to the vehicle owner may decide to keep the money and not to get the car vehicle fixed. So if somebody hit a deer, so let's say somebody hit a deer or whatever, and that's not against liability or collision. That's comper. That is something completely different. That is, I'll think of it in a second. Let's say it was $1,000 and you won't have a deductible because you hit a deer. And then most people will just put the money in their pocket and not get their vehicle fixed. But a lot of people will just put that money in their pocket and never get it fixed. But then let's say you had a wreck, another wreck, and it was actually a wreck between two vehicles. The insurance adjuster comes out and they take pictures. That's why they take pictures. And they's like, well, that bumper was tore off because you hit a deer 4 months ago and you didn't get fixed. So that's pre-existing damage. We're not paying for that. So you got to be careful with that. So some insurance companies, if the vehicle is not drivable, has to be towed to the body shop lot. The body shop will usually prepare for an estimate to get the job unless the vehicle owner has other plans, okay? Insurance companies write their own self-estimates. So during COVID, adjusters was not coming out. They wasn't coming out during COVID, right? So what we had to do, techs and some clients, was having to take pictures of their vehicles and send them to an adjuster. An adjuster might be in another state, and then they would do a preliminary estimate on the vehicle. They would get with the body shop. They would send a preliminary estimate on what they thought the car needed. And they're using CC1 software. And that CC1 software, you put in the VIN number, and then let's say it's bumper cover or whatever. You click on the bumper cover and it does an exploded view of all the parts that could be damaged or could not be damaged. And then the tech or the adjuster is just randomly picking stuff to kind of get the best estimate, whatever. But you really don't know what's wrong with it until you get it into the shop. Then once you get it into the shop and you tear it down, then that's when you have line items where you have to do supplement. Say, look, you didn't find this, we found this, and you have to do a supplement line. You have to send that in, you have to document it, you have to take pictures, and you have to do this. So now they pretty much seen that work pretty good, not sending adjusters out. Not a lot of them. I mean, they still do some, but most of them are they don't even come, most of them. Not saying that all of them. All right, so some insurance companies maintain a list of preferred body shops that will guarantee repairs made by the preferred shop. These are called DPR shops, direct repair shops, okay? So if a customer chooses that shop that's not on the list, the insurance company will not guarantee repairs. That is false. That's in the book, and that is false. In the state of North Carolina, I know that's false. So if you're not a preferred repair shop and you want to take your car to somebody else, the insurance company has to pay. You have to remember, the insurance company works for you. You don't work for the insurance company. Just like politicians or any elected official works for the citizens. We don't work for them, they work for us. So so stand your ground and say, no, that ain't how it works, you know. So the insurance company will not guarantee repairs. However, the non-preferred shop will usually provide many types of warranties. So basically what they're saying is the insurance company has a pack with body shops, and they call it direct repair, DPR shops. And that's where they try to push, because they have a deal that I'm fixing to give you the other side of the world. And if somebody gets on there and says I'm full of crap, come find me and I'll tell you different, because I know. Insurance companies will push clients to certain shops, and those certain shops, I'm not saying they cut corners. I'm not saying that they do cut corners. I'm saying that they will do the bare minimum to get the job done in and out, because the insurance company is pushing for them to do that. So they're feeding them. They might have 50 bumper covers to do this week because the insurance company is feeding them, right? It's like a service rider. So when you go to like Harley Davidson dealership with motorcycles or to the Chevrolet, any dealership, you have a service rider. And that service rider is feeding the top techs in the shop because the top techs are turning more hours. The more hours they turn, the more money they make. The more money they make, the service rider is making more money. They make a percentage. It's pretty much, I think it's pretty universal, Mughal. I think it's pretty universal. I mean, because the guys, the 5 guys that I met from Australia a few years back, they were PPG guys, and they were in PPG certified shops. So I'd say it's pretty much close. It might not be exactly, but it's pretty much, some of the terminology might be different because, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all call a bonnet a hood, right? Or is the bonnet the hood or the deck lid? So let me tell you this. Is the bonnet the hood or the trunk? Which one is it? Because I say the bonnet's messed up. So is that the trunk? It's the hood. Okay, yeah. So bonnet, like the hat. She's got her bonnet on. She got my hood on. Okay, yeah. So it is, I'd probably say it's pretty much the same, just the terminology's a little different. But once you learn the terminology, it should be pretty much the same. If an insurance company has a direct repair shop with a body shop, the person claimed can take the damaged vehicle directly to that shop. That shop will make repairs and then send the bill directly to the insurance company. So what that means, a direct repair shop, DPR, direct repair, meaning you don't even have to get an estimate. That kind of just washes the rest of it out. If you, let's say, I'm trying to think of big one uptown. Like, so there's a place called Galloway's, right? I know Galloway's has contracts with different businesses. Amazon Prime is one of them. There's a bunch of Amazon vans out there. So their vans wouldn't even have to get an estimate. They just bring it there, they fix it, then the shop sends the bill directly to the insurance company. The insurance company directly cuts the check to the insurance company, minus the deductible or whatever, and it's done. You cut out a lot of paperwork and a lot of foot traffic. So let's see, with the insurance company paying the most bill, it's easy to forget that the vehicle's owner, not the insurance company. The body shop customer is the body shop's only goal is to return the vehicle to pre-accident condition. That's what I was telling you a while ago. If the bumper cover got tore off because you hit a deer and you never fixed it, and then you go back, somebody backs into your fender and your bumper's tore up, they're only going to fix the fender. They're not fixing the bumper cover. So if the bumper cover's hanging off, it's going to be hanging off when it leaves too. So it's not going to be fixed unless the client pays out of pocket to have it fixed. So that's what a lot of people don't understand. If you get a work order ticket, and it says fix the bonnet/hood, that's all am I supposed to fix? And I see it on social media. It's like, well, why didn't you R&I? That's remove and inspect, or R&R, replace, remove and replace. People say, well, why didn't you take the headlights out? Or why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Do you work for free? I don't. So I'm not taking it out. Well, that's just poor craftsmanship. I can't believe you're sorry. Well, I'm asking you a question. Do you work for free? No. Okay. Then I'm not taking it out. So suck mud. So if it has a repair on there to fix the hood, and you fix the hood, and the insurance company does not pay to blend the hood over to the fenders and blend it over to the bumper cover, depending on the brake lines, if the insurance company doesn't put that it needs to be a blend, and you're painting panel to panel, so you got the hood, and then you got the fender, and then you got the body line. When you raise the hood or the bonnet, you got the body line, and you paint this as new and this is old. Take a brand new quarter out of your pocket versus an old quarter out of a pocket and hold it, and they don't look the same. That's because this is old, this is new. And that's what kills me is people online like, well, I don't believe you. I can't believe you didn't do that. I wouldn't have let that leave. Okay. Do you work for, I go back, do you work for free? Now, if the insurance company doesn't put on there to blend the panel and you tell the client, say, hey, look, this is not going to match. She's not going to match. I suggest blending the panel, but that's going to cost you. And if they agree to pay it, then they'll pay out of pocket. If they agree not to pay it, then get it in writing. Because if it didn't happen in writing, it didn't happen. And say, because when they leave and they give you a bad review and say, look what they did to my car. They didn't even fix it right. They didn't blend the panel. I'll never take nothing down there. Take that piece of paper and tag them in it and say, there's always 3 sides of every story. My side, your side, and the truth. Here's the truth. Go suck mud. Okay? All right, ordering parts. It says ordering parts. It says most vehicle repairs require replacement parts if possible. These parts should be ordered before the vehicle is brought into the shop for repair so you don't build up a storage fee. But sometimes it's not, sometimes it's unavoidable, okay? Because if you have all your parts here and then you bring the vehicle in, once you bring the vehicle in, you can get on it like a duck on a June bug and you get it gone. If you're sitting here waiting on parts and it's in the shop, it's taking up space, taking up real estate, and if it's taking up real estate and you ain't making no money, you ain't making no money, okay? So it's like feeding chickens that don't lay eggs. Why are you feeding chickens that don't lay eggs, right? Jay, why are you talking about chickens? My chickens are on strike, but we getting in that time of year, the dark moon, where they stop laying eggs, then that means they go in a pot. So you got original equipment, manufactured parts, or OEM parts, and then you have recycled parts, okay? Now, here's the next thing. You have original parts that you can get. Some stuff is too new and you have to get it directly from the dealership. I did a Mercedes one time, a C-Class, and the rear bumper I had to get directly from Mercedes. Now, here's the problem. Mercedes would not sell me a rear bumper cover for a C-Class until I gave them this. 1, the registration of the vehicle. 2, pictures of the VIN number and the data plate. 3, the picture of the rear bumper. Then, once I ordered the bumper cover, they would not ship me the bumper cover until I shipped them the original. If I didn't send them the original, they wasn't going to send me the new one. So, luckily, the Mercedes dealership's about 60 miles from here. So, I ordered the bumper cover. Why wouldn't they? Okay, I'm fixing to tell you, boss man. So when I ordered the rear bumper cover for the Mercedes, right, and I didn't post pictures because I do some insurance work, but I usually don't. I was picking up what you're laying down. I was picking up. So what they did is when the car came, I took the rear bumper cover off. The new bumper cover was here. I told them to bring the car so they didn't have to keep their car long. It was Arctic white. It was a white color. So, and the insurance company that she had would not pay to blend. And luckily, where the bumper cover come around, bumper covers don't match anyway from the factory. If you don't believe me, go to the dealership right now. Tomorrow, in a pretty sunny day, walk around the dealership, Hondas, everybody. Look at the bumper cover and look at the fender. Or look at the bumper and look at the quarter. They do not match. Look at the mirrors. They do not match. They do not match from factory, period. It's the way the light reflects on the plastic. We can get in that another day. So once I get there with the bumper cover, I have the old bumper cover on the back of the truck. They come out there. They get the old bumper cover. They take it in. I go in the service department. They give me the new bumper. they says, do you need the box? And I said, no, I can take the bumper cover and put it on the back of the truck. They said, we need the box. I said, okay, cool, not a problem. They take, I said, no, you want to keep the box, you can keep the box. He said, well, if we keep the box, we can send it back like this. If we don't keep the box, we got to cut it in half. And I was like, got to cut what in half? He said, the bumper. And I was like, why? He says, Mercedes does not want any of their parts to go to the salvage yard if they can help it. New stuff, right? To go to the salvage yard. That's why you have to give them a core, because they don't want people going, they don't want aftermarket companies 3D scanning these bumper covers and making molds and then selling them for a fraction of what they was. The rear bumper cover on that Mercedes was like $3 grand for the bumper cover, just for the plastic. $3 grand. So that's why they didn't want, that's why you had to turn in. I know, right? So I did a Maserati one time and the rear tail light was bad. I had to send the rear tail light to Maserati and it took weeks to get a replacement back. They wouldn't even send one until they got the old one with the restoration, copy of the registration of the person that owned it, copy of the adjustment, all that stuff. I had to send all that stuff. So that's one reason why I don't like doing the insurance work. I can do it. It's just too much craziness, okay? All right, so back to parts. So you have keys here in here in the United States, you have LKQ bought out Keystone. And if the insurance company, on the estimate, if they put on there that you're supposed to put platinum certified parts, and they come with a little sticker. So they got a sticker stuck to the back of the part, and they have a sticker. You have to take that sticker off and put it on the estimate, okay? And when you turn and put it in your thing, all right? If they're paying, if the insurance company is paying for Platinum Plus or Platinum Certified replacement parts, and you're buying certified parts or parts that's lesser than what you were supposed to be buying, used parts or whatever, and you get caught, they are going to burn you up. That is fraud, and you're going to get in trouble. I know a guy that done that, and he got in some serious trouble. All right, so make sure some stuff you can get, but you got to understand, Amazon is doing a very good stuff. Amazon. You can order a bumper cover from Amazon, and that son of a gun will be in a box this big. And then you open it up, and it just, you remember those little sneaky worms, that little pellet worms used to burn them, and that's the way the bumper covers. You got to lay them in the sun, and then they just grow, okay? Some bumper covers are not pre-primed. If you get bumper covers that are not pre-primed and they're raw plastic, you have to wash the release agent off of them with a release agent or some kind of degreaser, and it's just buy pre-primed bumper covers and be done with it, okay? That's enough on used parts. Additional, it says working green. See, it's got these little blocks. It says working green. In addition to being economical, install used parts is environmentally responsible. If an automotive parts are not reused, they will likely end up in a landfill. Additional choosing used parts reduces pollution associated with manufacturing new components. Correct. So if the insurance company is telling you to use certified used parts, then you get them from a list like Copart, Salvage, stuff like that to recycle. All right. Let's see. Let's jump over here. We ain't even got to. So body repairs. When the vehicle revives at the shop, must be dismantled to the replacement parts and access the hidden tear down. So when you tear down, take pictures of everything. Man, everybody's got cell phones. They got great cameras. Document everything for yourself. Email them to yourself. Put them on a flash drive so you can go back and research that. So tear down on a vehicle was hit in the front left corner, removing the fender and the bumper cover. So take pictures, okay? Let's see. There's a glare. Splicing. Sometimes the only portion of damaged panel is replaced is a procedure called splicing. The proper splice location is identified and the damage is cut out, then replaced part is welded into a splice joint. So there is a lot of different types of metals on new vehicles. They're thinner, they're lighter, and some of them can't be replaced. You got high strength steel, you got high strength aluminum, you got mild steel. So when you're repairing vehicles, just because you can repair it don't mean you're supposed to repair it. If you repair a new vehicle and you didn't follow the manufacturer, where let's say Toyota has a chart and you're going to replace the B pillar on a Toyota Corolla, they'll have it color coded in different colors where you can section it and where you can't section it. And if you don't section it where they tell you to, you are held liable. The shop's held liable, the tech's held liable, and you don't want that on nobody, okay? Also, it says lightly damaged panels can often be repaired or straightened. However, the inexpensive, easily replace a panel such as a fender. So they used to tell us if it was the size of your hand, it's at least an hour and a half repair. But like they were saying, these body panels are like 28 gauge, 30 gauge, 32 gauge, and they're high strength steel. So just because it has a dent in it, you're like, oh, I can knock that out and fix it. No, replace it. The fender, for an example, the front right fender on my 2015, a limb fell and hit the edge of it on the crease and hit it and wrinkled it. It's about that far. It's wrinkled, right? Looks like a washboard. It could probably be fixed. The insurance company, they wrote an estimate because it come in on the hood and chipped the hood, but I pulled it back with it. But anyway, the insurance company was here already, so I had the insurance company guy look at it, and he just did a soft hit. He didn't do a full estimate. He just did a soft hit just to see what it was. It was $900 to replace that front fender. Take the front fender, you gotta take the headlight out, you gotta take the whole front plastic bumper off to get the headlight out. So you gotta take the front back plastic piece off, get that off, take the headlight out, take the fender off, take the inner fender out, get the inner fender out, take the clips out the back. Once you get the old fender off, then you gotta put the new fender on. It was like $1,000. My fender still got a dent in it right now. Yeah. All right. So let's go over to let's see. Plastic body filler. All right. So it says when the metal has been moved within 1/8 of an inch in its proper location and remains damaged, can be filled. Plastic body filler is applied to a surface of the damaged panel to achieve proper contour. This body filler cures and is sandable and is completed the metal repair. All right. So it says 1/8 of an inch. Okay. That's not very far. Okay. All right. So Bondo is a brand. Everybody's like, oh, it's got a lot of Bondo in it. Bondo is a brand. It is a filler. Okay. You have different types of filler. You got Bondo brand, you got Evercoat, you have 3M, and then you have Rage. Then you have fiberglass filler. Then you have glazing putty. Then you have bumper bite. There's a whole wad of them, okay? The better the filler, the better the product results. If you use cheap filler and you don't mix it right, as it says on the back of the can, it's 2% body weight, 2% of body weight to whatever you're weighing, right? Weigh it out on a scale. A lot of people say, well, I've been mixing it this way. I've been spreading it out. I did too until I was taught different. And it says, weigh it on the scale so it's more consistent. Don't put more filler, don't put more hardener in it because it's cold and less hardener in it when it's hot. Mix it on a scale, all right? Cheaper filler, yes, it does good. It gets what you need to do, but you can have a lot of problems. Pinholes, just a lot of problems. So try to use the best product that you can afford, okay? Collision repair technician must repair or replace mechanical electrical components damaged in a collision, example, air conditioner systems, okay? That gets a little bit into mechanical, all right? So then we go over, and after you do airbags. So here's another thing about airbags. We're probably gonna have to pick up, I'm almost been on here an hour. So airbags, there's modules on new vehicles. So you have to unhook the battery and at least let the battery be unhooked for at least an hour. And the reason why that is the case is so all the modules and all the capacitors in the vehicle completely drain of power. And all the yellow connections in a vehicle are airbag connections. So when you pull the carpet back and see all those yellow connections and all that stuff, that is airbags. Do not unplug those with voltage on the vehicle. You will activate, if I said a wrong word, you will activate the airbags. Do not, I repeat, do not unplug airbag modules or airbags without knowing that the vehicle's battery voltage has been completely depleted. Take the battery out. The battery should be already out if it was a bad enough damage, but take the battery completely out and let that sucker sit for at least an hour or better, so it is to deplete everything. And if you still are concerned about it, pull the main fuse out of the fuse box to completely sever the connection. Because I'm telling you right now, you pull one of those yellow tabs loose and that thing has residual voltage and somebody's sitting in the passenger seat, they fixing to get hit harder than Mike Tyson. I'm telling you, okay? Also, air conditioners, don't crack the air conditioner up and then purge it out to the outer space, because the blue-haired spotted owls will fall down in New Guinea. They don't like it, okay? Also, make sure you wear safety glasses when you're wearing, especially working around refrigeration for air conditioners, because if that stuff splashes on your eyeball, you can say goodbye, okay? Let's see, refinishing. Next little part is paint is a part of the repair, which is the most evident to the customer. Therefore, the refinishing looks just like the original paint. The paint repair should not be noticeable. Refinishing involves two steps: applying undercoats and top coats. The undercoats are the layer of paint designed to bind to bare metal, and prevent rust, fill in scratches when the undercoat is sprayed. That's 2K epoxy, that's primer surfacer, that's what they're talking about. Sealer, finish primer, undercut spray is the vehicle that will not be painted, should be protected and masked. So underneath the undercarriage and stuff, like you need to back mask and tape it. Then it says, one of the undercoats applied to cure the repair is block sanding. Everybody hates block sanding. I love block sanding. It's very, 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 very therapeutic. Put on your earbuds and let's rock and roll, okay? Top coat. The top coat covers the undercoat. The customer sees the top coat, and any imperfection in the undercoat and the body filler will show up on the top coat. The top coat is sprayed over the undercoat and blended into the paint of adjacent panels. Most late model vehicles use two-stage, meaning two-stage top coat. The vehicle is first painted with a color base and then applied clear coat. So what they're saying, a two-stage, that's the base and then the clear, okay? So you put your base coat down and then you come back and you put your clear, all right? And then you have single stage. Single stage is the clear and the color all mixed in one, and you just get after it, okay? The vehicle is first painted with a color base and then painted with clear coat. When the repair this type of finish, both base coat and the clear coat must be applied to achieve an acceptable repair. Then you have reassembling after paint. You got detailing, body shop types. So the body shop types, you have independent body shop, which you could consider me as an independent, because I'm not owned by nobody else. It's this JG Innovation Garage as an LLC, so it is an independent. Then you have a franchise. Okay, franchise are the large ones like Mako. I know Mako in the United States gets a bad rep, but those painters are painting 14, 15, 16, 20 cars a week, and they're making $150,000, $165,000 a year. So you can be mad at them all day long. They have took the Henry Ford technology of assembly line, and they have an assembly line, and they have booths. And I got one student that went there and went to work, and he finally got in where he's painting, and he's making about 6 figures a year. And basically what he does is he walks into one booth, it's taped up, wiped down, ready to go. He tacks it off, he sprays it, he walks out the door, he goes into the next, he takes off his stuff, gets cleaned up, goes into the next booth, wipe, tacks, whatever, sprays it, gets done with that, and goes to the next one, paints that one, goes to the next one, paints that one, and turns right around and goes right back to the first booth, and they start all over again. So that's all he does. That's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to be a painter. So he is a production painter. That's what he is. Also, in High Point, North Carolina, they have Thomas buses, and they paint a bus every 13 minutes. So their techs that are painting, the guy is in the front, and it's all pressure pot with hoses, and it's single stage. So when they paint the inside of the bus, he walks into the bus, and he does this right here. And he is spraying a fan about yay wide and about yay long, and he is spraying the inside of the bus. And as he's spraying the inside of the bus, there's 2 people on the outside on scaffold kind of deals, and they're spraying the outside of the bus all the way down. And when he gets to the back, he has just a few minutes to get out, him and his helper to get out, and then the next bus, and they keep doing it. They said that they paint the bus every 13 to 16 minutes, a bus is getting painted. That is flat rolling. All right, then you have dealership body shops like Chevrolet, like Montgomery Motors here. Montgomery Motors is Ford. They have their own body shop, okay? That's about as, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and finish. I'm gonna go ahead and finish. So you got collision repair industry jobs. So body shop employees, you have production jobs. That's the employees that actually do the job. Then you have non-production jobs, which involves the task of supporting the production jobs, meaning writing the estimate, parts getter, you know, the person that's getting the parts, this, that, the detailer, and all that stuff. That's who they are. Production jobs are usually involved in a vehicle repair. That are many production jobs are available in typical collision repairs. Many of these jobs are described as the following. They are body shop technician, refinishing technician, painter, structural technician, general automotive repair technician, and detailer. Then you have a combination tech, which they can do multiple things, all right? Non-production job is the shop owner, project manager, production manager, shop foreman, the estimator, the parts person, office manager, and the record operator, okay? Then you have then body shop supports positions are insurance adjusters, and then you have automotive paint store employees, which is a third party. You have automotive paint store employees, which are called paint jobbers. So I have a jobber. My jobber is Color's Edge, and I've used other stuff too, but Color's Edge is my jobber. I get 90% of all my stuff from Color's Edge. All right. Then you have auto salvage employees, which is the auto salvage yard or the recycler. Then you have paintless dent technician, PDR, paintless dent repair. Paintless dent repair, they have came a long way. That we'll talk about that in a different section. Automotive glass technician, I don't deal with glass. I got a glass guy. He comes here. He does all my glass. I don't deal with it. You can't beat a man at his own game. So an additional worker, you have dealership parts employees, aftermarket employees. You have record drivers, graphic technician, radiator condenser technician, then computer skills, people that's doing the programming, stuff like that, reading all the data. All right, the educational opportunities. Take advantage of educational opportunities available to you. The skills needed to become a successful collision repair technician are developed through practice and instruction. I do not know everything, and I'm giving you just this old book, which is not too old. The new version is basically the same thing. Chapters are a little different, whatever, and they've added more EV and electrical stuff in it, so it's just compound more and more and more. I've been to several PPG training classes. I've been to several other classes. Always evolving, okay? Community colleges offer collision repair to students, or 1-year program or a 2-year program, or an associate's degree, or which is an associate's degree, which is a 2-year, or there's also colleges that offer a bachelor's also. There's not many, but there is. Technical schools are private for nonprofit educational. Then you like, what's one of them? Like Wyotech and stuff like that. There's a lot of guys that went through Wyotech and paid a bunch of money to go through Wyotech, like $20,000, $30,000. And then they ended up right back at the community college taking our program. And they like, man, we didn't learn half of the crap y'all telling us here. And they paid 30 G's. So there's nothing wrong with community colleges. There's nothing, okay? So put it to you like this. You can go to community college and get all your groundwork. You're going to get more one-on-one with folks, and you can do all that stuff and say you needed 3 other classes to graduate from Harvard or the University of Alabama. Let the tide roll, or wherever. Transfer to that school, transfer all your credits, take the last 2 classes, graduate, get your diploma from wherever, and you're like, I tell my kids this: when you stand up there with your diploma and it says bachelor's in automotive, bachelor's in science, or bachelor's in this, or what, associates in this, whatever, and I'm standing there with my piece of paper and Moogle's standing there with his piece of paper, guess what? We both got bachelor's. We both got them. I might have had a 2-point GPA. He might have had a 2.9 GPA. We still got the same piece of paper. Very seldom have I ever been asked from an employer, what was his GPA? Which I can't give him anyway because that's illegal. I can't give you your GPA out because that's private information. What was his GPA? He passed. That was my answer. He passed. But what he passed with? He passed. Well, what was passing? Well, we're now on a 10-point grade scale, so 60's passing. So he made a 60? I said, no, sir. I said, he passed. But what did he get? He passed. But I mean, was he an A student, a B student, a C student, a D student? He passed. If you want to know what his grades are, ask him. He passed. Okay? I mean, some people suck at this, and then they're amazing with their hands. Some people suck at this and amazing with that. That's why there's so many different types of jobs. If you can't fit into a certain spot and you give it all you got and you just can't get it, go to something else. And then sooner or later you'll find your fit. That's the attitude I hope to. What attitude, buddy? You reply to that while I look at this right here. All right. And then you have Toyota. Like Toyota has their own tech school. Tesla has their own tech school. Mercedes has their own tech school. Land Rovers have their own tech school. Lambos, those specialty cars, they're high-end cars. You get the basics, and then they send you. Even Harley Davidson has their own school. You go to Harley Davidson school to work on motorcycles. I mean, I could walk into Harley Davidson right now up here in Asheboro, Cox Harley Davidson. I could walk in there. I know them. They know I'm mechanically sound. They know this. I could walk in there and say, hey, man, I want to start working on motorcycles. You got your Harley Davidson stuff? You got your Harley Davidson stuff? No. You need to go to, they'd hire me, but you'd have to go to Harley Davidson school. So they want you to be Harley Davidson certified. Now, we do have American ASCs and ICAR, and I am ASC and ICAR certified. So that kind of gives you a little bit of clout too. Good attitude. Attitude doesn't imply negative. In this case, I think your views are good. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I'm a little upset, Moogle. You know what? I'm a little upset with you. You know why I'm upset with you? All right. So the next thing is ASCs is on the next page. National Institute for Automotive Services. ASCs are based on this. When you go take ASC tests, right, for the systems, there are eight systems. When you go take the ASC test and you have a question, for example, right here, here's a question. It says, all right, let me ask you this. Technicians who repair total loss vehicles are called what? Oh, that's not a good example. Here's a good example. Tech A, here it goes. Tech A says the collision repair industry is expecting to grow for the foreseeable future. Tech B says that there is a surplus of trained entry-level workers in the collision repair industry. Who is right? Tech A, Tech B, both A and B, or neither? So what they do is they asked 100 technicians that's been doing this for a day and a minute. And let's say they asked 100 of them, and 80 of them said Tech B was right. All right? The majority of them said Tech B was right. That's the right answer. And the other 20 said no, both A and B are right. That's the real answer, but the majority went with B. So if you put C, you would actually get that question wrong when you know you had it right. And then when you go back to get your test results, and you're like, no, that's not right. This is whatever. And then you contest it, and then sometimes they change it. Sometimes they tell you, suck mud. All right. So then you got ICAR, which is the Inter-Industrial Conference of Automotive Collision Repair. ICAR trains technicians who are already in the industry. They kind of advance so if you want to be more advanced in a welding, then you can take all your ICAR and you get your point system. Or if you want to do this, you can kind of hone on one specific thing. Okay. Then you have NAFTA, NATEF, which is National Automotive Technician Educational Foundation. And then you have a list. All right. So I know we went through that a lot, and I hope that helped out some people on that thing. Next Wednesday, we will come back and we'll see if anybody has any questions. And then I'll look and see in my syllabus what chapter is the next chapter. I think it's safety. I think we're going to go to safety. So I've been on here for 67 minutes. I hope everybody has a great afternoon. It's been raining all day here in the state of North Carolina. And Moogle, I got a haircut today, homie. That Hispanic lady, boy, she throws it to me. She can't even speak English, but she knows what I want. I appreciate you, boys and girls. Have a good day. Have a good night. If it's morning time, have a good morning. If it's night time, have a good night time. Remember what I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, let loose and drag. Peace, love, and chicken grease. I'm out.